Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Vivian. So today's tutorial was inspired by this beautiful dress you are seeing right here on the screen, and this is the one I just recreated. If you want to learn with me, if you want to know how I did that, please stay with me. And before we go ahead guys, please help me like this video, drop a comment and subscribe to my channel if you are yet to do so. You can see how beautiful, comfy and fitting this dress is. You too would like to have one. So let's get started. So yeah, I already have my fabric on fold. We are cutting the front separate and the back separate because the back is lower than the front side. Here the full length of my dress is 40 inches, and on fold I have about 21 inches. That's when I open it up, I have about 42 inches for front and 42 inches for back. So now for the strap, I'm removing about 5 inches. Okay, if you're on a bigger side, go ahead and remove about 6 inches. So now remember there's a band at the front. So for the band, I'm removing 2 inches. You can go ahead and remove like 2.5 or 1.5 inch if you want, but for me I'm working with 2 inches. So after that, I'll go ahead and cut it out. Remember, you're removing 5 inches for strap, 2 inches for band, and then we'll cut it out so we'll be able to work on the fabric. And now this is what we'll have left for the front. So we'll keep it aside and bring in the back side. Here I have my back side on fold. So on fold, I have the same measurement as the front. Remember I said I have about 21 inches on fold. Now, I will measure out the length of the dress, which is 40 inches. So my starting point will be this side. So now from this starting point, you know the back is very low, okay? So I don't want my own to be too low. So I will just be dropping it on my armhole length. My armhole measurement is 8 inches. So I'm going to mark 8 inches here. You can go ahead and measure 9 inches or 10 inches depending on how low you want your own to be. So after that, I'll go ahead and cut it out as well. So here I have my front and back. As you can see, the back is a little bit lower than the front side. So now let's remove the back side and we work on the front side first. So now on this front side, we have the length of the dress remaining. So we are going to shaping it, create an armhole and all that. And for us to do that, the armhole will be sitting on this folded side. Okay, this is where the armhole will be sitting. Now remember I told you that on fold I have about 21 inches. Meanwhile, we are working with my chest measurement, and my chest measurement is 33 by 2. We gave me 16.5. So when we gather this dress together, we'll gather it to that 16.5. So now let's create our armhole. Remember, we have already removed 7 inches in total. That's 2 inches for band and 5 inches for strap. And our armhole measurement is 8 inches. So I'm going to remove that 7 inches and place it here. That means my armhole measurement will be sitting on the 8 inches. So I'm going to mark that 8 inches here. Okay. So from there, I'll be coming in by about 4 inches. That's okay for me. You can come in with 3 inches or 5 inches. I don't want now my armhole to be that deep. So I'm just going to draw the line inside this way, and then I'll use my hand to curve it to create an armhole there. This remaining strap 7 inches will make up the armhole when I join my strap and the band. So I'll go ahead and cut it. So when I cut it, this is what I have. When you open it up, this is what I have. So now it means that in this full length is about 42 inches. So I'm going to gather it to make up that 16.5 inches. So now I want to go ahead and cut my band for the front. Remember the band is 2 inches. So here I'm going to measure out 2 inches, So I'm measuring out about 3 inches because I'll be using half an inch to join it on the strap and half inch to join it on the downside. Okay, so now I'm going to measure my chest measurement divided by 2. That is 33 by 2 is 16.5. So I'm marking it here and I'll go ahead and cut it out. So now the band is ready. So I'll go ahead and create an armhole. For my armhole, from here, this folded side, I'm coming in with by 5 inches. Okay, that's okay for me. You can come in with 6 inches depending on what you want. Then after that, from the edge, from this down side, I'm very sorry you're not seeing it, but from the down side, I'm coming out by ½ inch that I'll be using to sew it. Now from there, I will now curve it to join that ½ inch to create an armhole. So now the band is ready, and this is where we are going to be attaching the front side. And to do that, we are going to bring in the front side and place it this way. Okay, starting from the armhole side. Okay, we'll place it this way and we'll make sure we gather it into the band till we get to the other armhole side. And I'm sewing it, I'm going to make pleating or gathers on them. So that's it. So now I've gone ahead to cut facing for that front side. What I did was this: I folded a fabric into 2, okay, and I folded this strap here and placed it on it, and then I placed this armhole side on it this way, and I used it to cut that shape. Okay, when we are done sewing it, we are going to show shaping the armhole so it will be round when we are done sewing it. So now I want to go ahead and cut the strap, and I want my strap to be about 1 inch wide. So that means I'm cutting 4 inches for the 2, but I'll be adding 1 inch extra, that is 5 inches, ½ inch for sewing it. Okay, so now I'm going to fold 5 inches and go ahead to cut it for the 2 strap. And then for the length, remember we remove 5 inches for front and then 7 inches for back. 5 plus 7 will give us 13 inches. So for the length, I'm cutting about 14 inches. 1 inch would be for sewing it on the dress. So now I'll go ahead and cut it out. So here I have the straps ready. So when I'm sewing it, I'll go ahead and fold it, then sew it with about ½ an inch, then turn it. Now we'll have to go ahead and work on the front side to gather the front side. So I'm going to place this band this way and place the fabric on it this way. The armhole, starting from this armhole side, I'm going to place it and sew it with ½ an inch. And when I'm sewing it, I'm going to make gathers till I get to the end of the other armhole. Remember, I'm starting from this armhole side. Okay, then make the gathers till you get to this other armhole side, and this is what we are going to be doing on the sewing machine. So when I'm done, this is what I have. You can see how neat it is. Okay, at this stage now, you can go ahead and shaping your armhole if it's not too wide enough, but for me, I'm okay. So now I want to go ahead and attach my strap, and to do that, I have to determine the middle point of the front side, and then I have to fold it this way. Okay, when I determine the middle side, I'll go ahead and notch it, and when I do that, I'll open it again. Then from this notch side, I'm going to measure about 4 inches, and that's okay for me. Remember, you can go ahead and measure 5 inches if you want. So when I measure 4 inches, from that 4 inches, I'm going to pin my strap this way from the right side. So after pinning this one, I'll go ahead and do the same thing to this other side. From here, I will measure 4 inches. And on that 4 inches mark, I'll pin my second strap on it, just like I'm doing so. So when I'm done doing that, I'm going to attach my facing to use and sew it so it will be very neat. So now I'll bring in my facing this way and I'll place it from the right side. Okay, right side facing right side this way. And then I'll go ahead and sew it round with 1/2 inch, starting from this armhole side to the other one. Okay, I'm going to sew it with 1/2 inch, and after that I will shaping it to be equal. So now we'll go ahead and sew it and come back. So now I'm done sewing my strap with the facing. You can see how beautiful and clean the armpit is looking already, and this is our strap. So let's work on the back side. So for the back side, remember there is a band at the back side. So we are going to be creating space where we are going to fix our band, so we'll be able to use it to make gathers. Now I've cut about 2 inches band, and of course it's going to be the same length with the dress. So now I'll go ahead and sew it and turn it over to the wrong side. But before I do that, I have to fix my strap, so I'll be able to sew it using that band. So that band will be serving as my facing for the back, so that the sewing will be neat. So now I have to fold it into 2 and then fold it again to determine the center of that back side where I'll be placing my strap. When I do that, I'm going to mark the center point this way. Okay, just like I'm doing so. Just follow the step and it's very easy. So when I'm done, I have to open it up. That point where I marked is where I'm going to be fixing my strap. So I'm going to determine to mark it very well. So now I'll bring in the front side this way. I'll place it on the back side, right side facing right side. And then I'll fix my strap this way. I'll place it on that place that I marked. And then I'm going to use pin to hold it in place. So likewise the other side, the same place that I marked, I'm going to fix my strap there and then hold it into place with my pin. So when I'm done doing that, I'm going to place this band on top of it this way. Remember, I'm doing all this on the right side. Okay, so when I'm done, I'm going to sew it from this edge to the other edge. I'm going to sew it, then I'll flip it to the wrong side and then sew it again to create a space for the band. Now I'm done. You can see what I'm having here. It's very neat. If you're wondering how I did that, after I flipped it to the wrong side, the other edge, I have to hem it. Okay, after sewing it, I flipped it and then I hemmed it. As I'm hemming it, I'm sewing it on the edge. You can hem it first, then place it and sew it, or you can be folding it and be sewing it at once, so it will be very neat. So now I'm going to place my band on it. So now the measurement I'm using, my chest measurement divided by 2 is 16.5. So for the band, I'm cutting 16 inches. So that means I'm removing 1/2 inches. Okay, 1/2 inch. I don't want it to be too tight. For you, you can go ahead and remove 1 inch or 1.5 inch, depending on how tight you want it to be. So now I'll just go ahead and cut 16 inches for the band. And when I'm done, I'll go ahead and fix it on the space I just created. And then after fixing the band, I'll also go ahead and hem the downside. So guys, I'm done fixing the band and you can see how beautiful it is. Okay, now when you hold this dress this way, if you want to determine whether your measurement is correct, when you hold it this way, it will be the same length. If it's not the same length, that means you're mistaken somewhere. So the only thing remaining for me to do now is to fix my pocket. And I've already gone ahead to cut out the pieces I needed for this pocket. Okay, and I've placed it on the point I want it to be. From up, I measured about 11 inches, and that's where I placed my pocket. If you don't know how to fix your pocket, I'll be dropping a link on the description button. Just go ahead and watch the video. So now I'll go ahead and sew it this way. I'll sew 1/2 inch this way, then I'll turn it over to the wrong side and top stitch on it, then iron it. I'll do that for all of them. Then I'll stitch when I'm stitching the side. When I get to this point, I'm going to hold the two pieces, sew it round and stitch the remaining side. And that is basically all for this tutorial. So guys, if you watched to this end, thank you very much. Please help me to like this video, drop a comment, and if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please help me do so. Okay, see you guys in the next video. Bye. Thank you.